I'm so honored to be here. Thank you to Seth and Brooke for inviting me. I think the premise of this conference is amazing. And you might think like, wow, but you're coming from this big technology company sitting on a lot of data, and you're going to talk about human truths. But what I hope you all know is that for Google, always the user, the person is at the center of everything we do. So also the data we look at is always making sure we understand what's on people's minds, and we're catering to the needs and the expectations that consumers are having. So I'm excited to talk a little bit about that today. Let's start with a little picture of a game. So I'm not a big gamer myself, but I love an occasional solitaire, Candy Crush. It just takes my mind off of things. I can scroll, I can not think about the day-to-day stuff. So you might wonder why start a Google presentation with this picture of solitaire. Well, it will tell us more about humans than you might imagine. Okay, I promised to Seth and Brooke no charts, but hey, I'm in analytics, so I got one in there, and it's a pretty good one. If you looked at the news recently, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they brought out the latest unemployment rate, which has dropped significantly. So this is from 2000 on. We're almost at the same level as in 2000 with a 3.9% unemployment rate. So great stat here. But does everyone know how the Bureau of Labor Statistics gets to this number? It's a lot of work that goes into it. They conduct about 60,000 interviews with people from all types of backgrounds and incomes and gender and age to understand what that unemployment rate is. They make phone calls, they go to people's homes, they interview them. It's a pretty old school process, all to get to this number that everyone is craving, especially at the stock market, and a lot of different companies are always waiting for this number to come out to then take their next steps and actions. But that is about, after all these interviews are being done every month, 60,000 people, we wait about 2 weeks for that number to come out, which is a long time in today's world of digital where everything just flows in so fast. So is there a different way where we can already get an indicator of what's going on with the unemployment in our country? Well, there is. We looked at correlations between the unemployment rate and just overall Google searches. So you probably think, oh, unemployment benefits or unemployment insurance. Those are going to be the ones very highly correlated to this. Well, they're definitely up there. But what is the number one thing highest correlated to the unemployment rate? Porn. Which I didn't want to start this presentation with a picture of porn. So the second highest unemployment rate that correlates is indeed solitaire. So it's kind of right if we think about it, what humans do if they are out of a job, are trying, of course they're out there trying to find a job, but they're also trying to take their minds off of things. And it can be through a game or it can be through that other thing. But it's fascinating. So now if we would just be looking at these types of searches more closely, maybe we can already start to anticipate what is going on in the country. What is that unemployment rate, or what is on people's minds? So this example comes from a book written by Seth Steven Davidovich, and he was a statistician at Google a couple years ago, and he left to be a writer at the New York Times. And he's also fascinated by the Google search data. And he has this quote, and I can wholeheartedly agree, that Google searches are the most important data set ever collected on the human psyche. Right? Think about your own searches, just over the past day, over the past week. Like I Googled this morning what the weather was going to be. I Googled directions to this theater. I also Googled how can I prevent that my face gets so red when I'm presenting. Which is a pretty personal search, but I'm trusting the search engine to give me an answer. The answer is actually that I should have worn red because then it kind of evens out, but I didn't go for that recommendation. But think about it, there's so much that we're trusting the search engine with, and they're going from very basic, what is the weather, to very deep searches of why am I lonely, or why am I feeling this way? So to illustrate this a little bit further, why even within the digital world, these Google searches are even more powerful than maybe some other sources that we have, is let's look at Facebook data. If we look at just what people are saying about their husbands on Facebook, they're pretty happy with them. My husband is my best friend. My husband is dope. My husband is my life. Right? We're giving off this image like, I have a great relationship, and I want everyone to know. However, then we look at what Google searches are when it is coming to their husbands. My husband is gay. My husband is lazy. And of course, this is the tip. This is the answers they are looking for. Like, do other people out there also find this of their husbands? Or are there tips out there that can help me navigate this relationship? But it really goes into that deeper psyche of, okay, this is what's going on in people's minds. So let's look at some other examples. If you just start to type in the Google search bar, it will already give you some suggestions of what other people are searching for as well. We bubble up the most volume, the highest searches. So if you just start to type in your age, I am 15, and we can start to see what this age group is thinking about today. So I'm 15, and my boyfriend is 18. It's a big age difference at that age. Or I'm 30, and I've never had a boyfriend. Or I'm 30, and I want to become a doctor. Is it too late, or can I still go through medical school? And then when they're 50, I'm 50, and I can kick it, or I cannot, and I need a new career, like changing at that type of at that age. So really, just from this couple seconds of typing this in, we can get a sense of what's going on with that age group. And there's some really powerful stuff being done with it. This is from a campaign in Dubai done by Ogilvy and Mather. And here they tapped into what people in Dubai are searching when it comes to women. And here you see the women's mouths being shut because people are searching there. Women shouldn't have rights. Women shouldn't work. Or women need to be put in their place. Women need to be controlled. It's very scary things, but that's what people are searching for in Dubai. And by putting that out there, as in this campaign, there can be more awareness about it, and we can do something about it. So, why is it so powerful that we have this data? So, we do think that it's a very fair representation of the internet population if we look at this type of data. We see about 4 billion searches a day in the US alone, and 15 to 20% of those searches are new. So every day we see new terms, new questions, new misspellings coming into our database. But that's a lot of data, and it really can tell us a lot. More than maybe 60,000 people that are being interviewed about their employment status. It's very timely. It's trending real time. We can go into google.com/trends right now and see what people are searching for. And then it's very true. It's that honest data. Like, we're not asking anyone a question and getting an answer that might be socially correct. No, we're just observing what people are thinking about. So let's look at what people were searching for in 2017.
To the families and friends of the victims, know that we'll do everything we can. We are Vegas strong.
No matter what we're going through, we still have to push forward.
Are you ready to shake up the world?
It takes an act of love to realize we are all in this together.
We made history tonight.
Look at that! It's emotional. I can't explain why, but it is.
I'm asking that you guys join and mobilize with me.
I will say it right now out loud. Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
No, right?
Put your hand back out, bro. You gonna shake it, bro.
The things that make us different, those are our superpowers. Go out there and conquer the world. Because the world would not be as beautiful as it is if we weren't in it.
I thought this was amazing to see that it was really about how, not just what. What is going on in the world? Why is this happening? No, how can I help? How can I do something about this? And it's great to see that we see this continued momentum in 2018 as well. People want to be there and help out. And just, this is a screen grab from last week from Google Trends, where we check what is trending right now. And just from that one snapshot on May 8th, we featured the Teacher Appreciation Week and all that people are asking around teacher pay and what type of benefits do they have? How can we help there? Mother's Day, Britain's royal wedding right now is probably spiking because it's coming close. But from just this simple snapshot, we see what people are thinking about right now. And I love what's happening with the assistant and with these devices in our home, because we can be a lot more conversational now with our search engines. We see 70% of the searches that are coming in on these devices are being asked in natural language. Like, yeah, I do the same. I feel like coming home and someone's saying like, woohoo, you're home. It's a great way to build that relationship. So we're constantly analyzing what is then changing with the consumers. Are their expectations changing? Are their needs changing? And with this type of data, we can really look at that in detail. And what we're seeing is that consumer expectations are changing, or maybe not changing, but really exponentially growing. And especially in these three areas, we're becoming more curious, more demanding, and more impatient than ever. So when we look at curious, of course, we're all very curious for all sorts of things. What is the height of George Clooney? Or what is that weather? But we also now see a lot of curiosity for things that seem to be lower involvement in the past. Like, I work with CPG companies as well, and they always say, oh, no one searches for toothbrushes or toothpaste. But it's actually happening, and it's growing over the past 2 years. These are the growth rates for these searches. People, if they are willing to make an investment in something, they want to make sure they get the best. So they read reviews, and they Google for that. We're also becoming more demanding. We expect technology to know a lot about us. Like, if I come to a website and every time I have to reintroduce myself, what my address is, what my credit card is, I would get a little frustrated. Like, come on, I was here last week, you know it. So we want this technology to just do the things for us to make it very fast and frictionless. And how we see that kind of displaying in the data is something like this. If I would have stood here on this stage 2 years ago, I would have said, oh, near me searches are growing so fast. Everyone is looking for pizza near me and Thai food near me. Right now, we're seeing that actually those searches, local searches without near me, are outgrowing the searches with near me. Meaning that if I'm out on the streets and I'm not in my home, and Google Maps or whatever I use should know that I'm not at my home, and I'm searching for Thai food, I'm looking for a restaurant to go to right now. But if I'm at home and I'm doing the same search, I expect the system to know that I just want it delivered. I should not have to specify that every time I go into these types of platforms. We also see it with a stat like this, that now more than 85%, we've seen an increase of 85% in mobile searches of where to buy product. Meaning it's on mobile, people are out on the street, hey, I right now want to buy this t-shirt, where can I do that within a couple meters around me and go on with my day? I don't have to do all that research before I go out in the city. And then impatient. So yes, we're doing more research. We want to make sure we get the best olive oil, even the best travel pillow. But then once we're ready to pull the trigger, it needs to be really, really fast. And we see that in stats like this. There's now a 2 times increase in same-day shipping searches. And technology allows us to be expecting this. Amazon can deliver within an hour. So why would I have to plan a week in advance? Same with the increases in travel searches for today and tonight. If I'm traveling to Connecticut today and I haven't found a hotel yet, I'm not worried at all. Hotel tonight will give me something probably for an even better rate. And a 3 times increase in open now searches. And what's even better is that technology is recognizing that and saying, okay, if you're in Google Maps putting in a location like a store or a restaurant, and we know that it's going to be closed by the time you get there, we'll give you a warning. Hey, are you sure you want to go there? Because it's going to be closed by the time you get there. You should not have to think about all these things. So with these increasing expectations that we have around, and we're curious and we're impatient and we're demanding, it's very human in nature. We've always been like this. But now we see that it can be amplified by the data and by the technology that surround us. But that also means that our technology needs to be more human in nature. And that's where that conversational element comes in with our assistant or with our home device. It's where we know things about you that are not going to be intrusive. Like the number one thing will always be data privacy. But if you are benefiting from the services and you want to make sure you can move on as fast as you can, we'll get you there. So all of this is we're moving them from problems to solutions. We can act upon it. We know through the data like what's going on, what those expectations are, and we can build towards those solutions. So, like the end of a solitaire game, I'm very excited that I was here and open for questions right now.